Unlike most of my matchups, these two have already fought. However, their fight was circumstantial and wasn't a legitimate one-on-one. This fight will be set up the same as in the movie, except nobody will be there to interfere and distract Optimus. It will also be important to note that the film this rematch will take place in will be the primary source for the feats of these two. Lockdown stood around 24 feet tall and transformed into a Lamborghini Aventador for his alternative mode. Being a bounty hunter, Lockdown would often modify his body by adding parts of his victims to his own. Lockdown's short stature allowed him to perform acrobatics and climb buildings with ease. This was taken further by the exposed spinal cord he had that allowed for greater agility, surpassing that of the average Cybertronian. Although it often easily goes unnoticed, Lockdown possessed a great deal of strength, managing to ram Optimus Prime through part of a building and later drag him around with ease. His strength, speed, and constitution would combine into a weapon that would allow him the superhumanoid feats of jumping from high distances and insane durability. Lockdown's constitution hasn't seen being pressed to its limits, but he remained unaffected by physical strikes from Optimus Prime and being shot by Cade Yeager. Yes, I know, it's a small gun, but it managed to cause major damage to other fully sized Cybertronians. Lastly, Lockdown has a scar running down his face, rumored to be given to him by Megatron. As of Age of Extinction, Optimus Prime stood around 34 feet and transformed into a custom Western Star 4900 semi-truck. Even when in his evasion form, Optimus still showed traits from previous movies, being able to move fast enough to evade Lockdown and evade fire from humans. Unlike Lockdown, Optimus's most well-known physical trait was his strength, able to send a charging Grimlock aside with just his shield.
We're giving you freedom!
Moments before, Optimus delivered a punch to the Dinobot's face that visibly caused pain. Speed and agility wasn't something Optimus was known for, but he's evaded attacks from Grimlock, kept up with Lockdown, and outran a falling boat. Optimus's constitution is also notable, recovering from being both stabbed and shot by Lockdown. Overall, Optimus Prime has multiple attributes that make him a rival for Megatron. Both Optimus Prime and Lockdown possess great strength, speed, and power. Optimus has shown to be stronger, Lockdown to be more agile. Optimus, however, has greater durability on his side. I believe this gives him a close edge over Lockdown. As for their vehicle forms, Lockdown is faster, but Optimus's upgrades provide him the capability to fly. This would allow for better positioning and agility. By a close edge, Optimus Prime receives the advantage for his physicality.
Stay behind me!
As previously mentioned, Lockdown would customize his own body, adding parts and weapons taken from his victims. Perhaps his most famous weapon besides his hook is the giant cannon he can transform his face into. As shown during its two uses, it can fire mortar rounds or serve as a sniper rifle, firing an EMP round the second time that immobilized Optimus. As previously mentioned, Lockdown carried a hook that he used for climbing and melee combat. He also can transform his arms into a spark extractor and blaster. It is likely that he specifically chose melee-based weapons for his fight with Prime, so the entirety of his arsenal or skill is unknown. However, he actively chose to evade Optimus during their second fight. His tracking skills aren't really worth mentioning, but they're still to be noted. His combative skill will be more focused on being able to contend with Optimus Prime. While many say that he won the fight, this was because Optimus was distracted by Cade, something he even noted himself. A counter could be said by noting when Optimus won their first encounter. Again, while the entirety of his arsenal and combative skill isn't known, he is a good enough fighter to contend with Optimus Prime. Last but certainly not least, Lockdown carried a unique grenade. likely supplied to him by his creators. Optimus Prime has carried many weapons through the live-action Transformers movies. In Age of Extinction, he possessed a wide variety of options. For ranged engagements, he carried an upgraded shotgun and used the cannon on his shield. While the shield was meant for melee combat, it could be used to defend against projectiles. After receiving his upgrades, Prime gained a new sword and was skilled enough to be able to use it masterfully, despite not having much time to prepare himself for battle. Optimus used his rocket boosters to create opportunities to integrate his melee attacks into his movesets. It is unknown how many weapons Prime still carries, as the sword and shield he gained took center stage. Finally, being the chosen carrier, Optimus carried the matrix of leadership. While it didn't often have combative purposes, it's still worth mentioning as it is a symbol of Prime's earned position as leader of the Autobots. Both Optimus Prime and Lockdown carry a variety of weapons and are highly skilled fighters. Lockdown's ranged weapons give him an edge should the two start the fight at a distance, but Optimus is a more skilled fighter at close range. Optimus can also close the distance with his flight capabilities. This would undermine Lockdown's advantage at a range and allow him to use his close range advantage even more. Optimus Prime receives the edge for his combative capabilities.
You were our leader, Sentinel. It is your right to lead us again. In a world I do not know, I am no longer your teacher, Optimus. You are mine.
The beginning of this fight would start out like it did in the actual film. However, this time it would be Optimus that would eventually be going on the offensive without the humans to distract him. Lockdown would be able to put up a good fight, but he'd eventually be defeated. And thus, I declare Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots, the victor. This is all my opinion, so feel free to voice yours if it's different. I know this video is a little short, especially considering the wait, and is rushed due to certain circumstances, but I hope the next matchup will make up for it.